To Almighty Allah belong the most beautiful names.
وهل أتاك حديث موسى وهل أتاك حديث موسى.
And again, the Quran starts talking about the previous prophets, giving Sayyidina Muhammad an information about a previous prophet whose name was Musa. Almighty Allah wanted to tell him about Musa and how he lived his life, how he became a prophet. Sayyidina Muhammad needed to know because Musa was a prophet before Muhammad. And of course, Sayyidina Muhammad needed to know, and also we also need to know. And that's why Almighty Allah is telling us in this Quran that Ali Ataka Hadisu Musa. Oh Muhammad, have you ever heard anything about the story of Musa?
إذ رأى نارا فقال لأهلهم امكثوا إني آنست نارا لعلي آتيكم منها بقبس أو أجد على النار هدى.
We have discussed the story of Musa a number of times during the course of our tafsir. What this verse is telling us about is that asking Sayyidina Muhammad, Ali Ataka Hadith Musa, have you heard the story of Musa? And the Quran says,
إذ رأى نارا فقال لأهلهم امكثوا.
Idra and Nara, Musa was coming from Madian, going back to the city where he lived, to Egypt where he lived with under Pharaoh. And when he was going, it was in the night was already setting in, and they got to a place, they were tired, they needed to rest, and Musa looked around in the wilderness, and he saw fire somewhere. What he did was that he told his people, he said, my people, I know you are tired. Impusu, all of you sit down here, relax here. I have seen a firebrand somewhere in the distance in the wilderness. Let me try and go there. Maybe I'll be able to bring a brand of that fire that would serve us here.
Oh, Ajido. It
is also possible I might get some information that will guide us from that fire. Maybe there are some people around that place. They will guide us to tell us about the road so that we continue on our journey.
فَلَمَّا أَتَى نُودِيَ يَا مُوسَى.
Musa left his people, his wife, and the people that his goats. He left them there. Musa went after this fire that he was seen. But when he got to the fire, he got there, and what he saw, what he heard was quite strange to him. There, as soon as he approached the fire, he heard a voice calling on his name and said, Ya Musa.
Inni ana rabbuka fakhla'na alayka innaka bil wadil muqaddas tuwa.
Musa heard a voice calling him there and say, Ya Musa. You can just imagine what the state of Musa's mind when he heard his name being called in a wilderness where there was nobody, no life that was known to anybody. He was shocked, and the voice kept calling him, Ya Musa, Ya Musa,
إني أنا ربك فخلع عليك.
the boy said that, oh Musa, I am your Lord. Fatla alayka. Remove your slippers, the shoes you are wearing, your slipper, remove them.
إنك بالواد المقدس طوى.
إنك بالواد المقدس طوى. Where you are entering Wadi al-Muqaddas, a pure valley, a valley that is clean and pure.
وأنا اخترتك فاستمع لما يوحى.
And the voice kept telling him, وَنَخْتَرْتُكَ I am the one who chose you, Musa. فَاسْتَمِعْ لِمَا يُوحَى. So listen to the revelation that I'll be giving you.
إنني أنا الله لا إله إلا أنا فاعبدني وأقم الصلاة لذكري.
إِنَّنِي أَنَا اللَّهُ. The voice continued to tell Musa that إِنَّنِي أَنَا اللَّهُ. The voice you are hearing is the voice of your Lord. I am your Lord.
لا إله إلا أنا.
La ilaha illa anna. When you talk, I am your Lord, and there's no other person that can claim to be Lord apart from me. There's no other Lord apart from
فاعبدني
me.
وأقم الصلاة لذكري.
Fa'budni, O Musa, worship me and say your prayers in my name.
إن الساعة آتية أكاد أخفيها لتجزى كل نفس بما تسعى.
The voice continued to say that
إن الساعة آتية.
telling Musa that human beings are not just brought into this earth in vain. In the Sa'ata Atia, that the hour is definitely coming.
أكاد أخفيها أكاد
Akadu
أخفيها.
fiha. The hour is coming, but it's almost hidden. You will not know it. It's only Allah that knows the exact time.
لتجزى كل نفس بما تسعى.
And that is the time that Almighty Allah says, "Litujza kullu nafsin bima tasa'a." That is when every human being will get reward of whatever he has done. If you have done good, expect your reward. If you have done bad, of course, expect your reward. Also, you will get the reward either way.
فلا يصدنك عنها من لا يؤمن بها واتبع هواه فتردى.
Let not the one who believes not therein. Don't let anybody who doesn't believe in the hour that is coming, in the day of judgment.
من لا يؤمن بها واتبع هواه فتردى.
Don't let them divert your attention. Don't let them divert your mind. Those who don't believe in the day of reckoning, do not let them divert your attention.
وما تلك بيمينك يا موسى.
It was at this point that Almighty Allah now asked Sayyidina Musa. Musa left his people alone, but he went with his walking stick. The walking stick is to help you to walk as you are going, maybe recline on it here and there. He left with that walking stick. He left his people, but the walking stick was with him. So when Almighty Allah called him, when he was before Almighty Allah, he was still holding the walking stick. And you will remember it is the slippers he was wearing that Almighty Allah has him to put away. But he put that one away, but moved into this valley with his walking stick. So Almighty Allah now asked him,
وما تلك بيمينك يا موسى.
Almighty Allah says, Ma tilka biyaminika ya Musa. Oh Musa, what are you holding on your right hand? What is that thing you are holding on your right hand?
قال يا عصا.
Musa said, Oh my Lord, here I saw ya. Oh, this is my walking stick.
أتوكه عليها وأعوش بها على غنمي.
Atawakahu alayha. This walking stick, I use it sometimes to recline. I recline on it when I'm standing and I'm a bit tired.
وأعوش بها على غنمي.
And I use them also. I use this walking stick also to direct my goats whenever I'm going out with them.
ولي فيها مآرب أخرى.
And this walking stick also it served me on a number of other small purposes.
قال ألقها يا موسى. قال ألقها يا موسى.
And that is the first test that Musa got from Almighty Allah. Just to assure him that, well, you are before His Majesty, the Lord of the whole world, the most powerful. And he now told Musa, Al-Kiha ya Musa. Okay, now Musa, you know you are holding a walking stick. Now throw that walking stick on the floor.
فألقوها فإذا هي حية تسعى.
Of course, Musa had no choice. He obeyed Almighty Allah. He threw the walking stick on the floor. And as soon as he threw the walking stick on the floor, فَإِذَا هِيَ حَيَّةٌ تَسْعَى. The walking stick which Musa brought to that place became a snake, tas'a, moving around with speed. The snake moving around with speed.
قال خذها ولا تخف سنعيدها سيرة الأولى.
Almighty Allah saw the snake like this and told Musa and asked Musa, don't be afraid, because Musa was already afraid. A walking stick becoming a snake, he moved back, withdrew away, and was shocked. But Almighty Allah said, "Khuz'a wa la takhaf." Take it. Don't fear anything. Take it. Sanu'iduha sirataha al-ula. Take it, Musa. Don't fear anything. We shall turn it back to its earlier form.
وَضِمُّمْ يَدَكَ إِلَى جَنَاحِكَ تخرج بيضاء من غير سوء آية أخرى.
Musa grabbed the snake, and of course, when he grabbed his snake, it was his walking stick. Look at it like this, but it was before Almighty Allah. Now he knew that yes, he was in for something big. Of course, anytime he heard that, he would look at it that, hey, the power of Almighty Allah is on this walking stick. He knew that it was he who went into the bush to fetch this stick. You know, if you need a walking stick, you have to go to the bush, cut a tree that suits your need. And even sometimes you adjust it, you know, so that at least it will look like exactly what you want to serve your purpose. You might knew all this. But now this walking stick becoming a snake was something that you could not, it's only Allah that can explain that. And of course, Almighty Allah used that one to tell Sayyidina Musa that yes, you are having a message from Almighty Allah who has power to do everything. And don't forget that it still does, he used that walking stick for so many purposes. We have said it here, the other time we are reading from this same surah, that when Pharaoh was chasing them away, and they came across the sea, and there was no escape route. The enemies were behind, the sea was in front. Not ordinary sea. It was this walking stick that Almighty Allah asked him to strike the water.
فلما ترى الجمعان قال أصحاب موسى إنا لمدركون قال كلا إن معي ربي سيهدين فأوحينا إلى موسى أن اضرب بعصاك البحر فانفلق فكان كل فرق كالطود العظيم.
Actually, by the time Pharaoh was chasing them, pursuing Musa and all his people, they were running away because he already knew he was going to kill all of them. And of course, who would want to be killed? So they were running away with Musa. And when they now come up in front, the only way it ended in the sea. There was water in front of them, and the enemy was behind. And of course, those who are the Musa's people, they were
أصحاب موسى إنا لمدركون.
The people following Musa, because they believe that Musa could save them. Because they have seen the signs of Almighty Allah. The human being, when they now saw that there was no way they could escape. The sea was in front. They were now taunting. Musa, look at where you have led us. We are in Lamudraku. Everyone is going to capture all of us here now, and he's going to slaughter all of us like fowl.
قال كلا إن معي ربي سيهدين.
Musa told them that don't think like that. Don't think like that. It is my Lord that sent me, and my Lord that sent me, He knows our condition, and is going to guide us.
فأوحينا إلى موسى أن اضرب بعصاك البحر فانفلق فكان كل فرق كالطود العظيم.
It was then, Almighty Allah says, at that point, when they got to the bank of those seas,
أوحينا إلى موسى
we sent revelation to Musa.
أن اضرب بعصاك البحر.
Now, also get your walking stick up and strike the sea.
فانفلق فكان كل فرق كالطود العظيم.
As soon as Musa struck the sea, the water folded away. It opened up, and there's a wide road in between the water.
وأزلفنا ثم الآخرين.
Of course, by Allah's grace, Musa and his people crossed over to the other side, to the land.
وأنجينا موسى ومن معه أجمعين.
We saved Musa, and Almighty Allah said we saved Musa, and we saved everyone.
ثم أغرقنا الآخرين.
And when Musa and everybody that followed him had crossed the sea, Pharaoh and his people, they were making their way to cross also with them. But when they got to the middle of the sea, Almighty Allah caused the sea to fold back on them. And that was the time Pharaoh now raised up his voice to now deceive himself, as if he wanted to deceive Almighty Allah, that Amantu bi Rabbi Musa wa Harun. I believe in the Lord of Musa and Harun.
آمنت برب
Almighty Allah told him that
الآن
it's now that you want to believe because you have seen
وقد عصيت من قبل
after all these years that you have been rebelling against Almighty Allah.
وكنت من المبذرين.
Almighty Allah did not save him from that water. He got drowned there, and Almighty Allah saved his body for us.
نجيك ببدنك.
So it was also that walking stick. And in other situations, also Musa used that walking stick. When they, by the time he was taking this same Bani Israel, also, and there was no water. I think that was Surah Al-Baqarah. And you know, if you know the importance of, even in this our own part of the world, we may not know the importance of water. But if you are in a desert like those of the Arabian desert, where you would travel hundreds and hundreds of miles, you won't see a drop of water, and the heat, the temperature will be so high. Well, I don't know. Maybe there are some other places. Maybe there are other places that where we can get where temperature can be as high. When I was serving in Saudi Arabia, you know, all the diplomats were in Jeddah, but because we are Jeddah to Saudi Arabia is just about an hour's drive, so we always want to go to Haram every Friday to go and pray. At least since you are close to the Haram, take advantage and pray there as many times as possible. So we used to go. So once you drive your car, they reserve a place for us near the Haram. They reserve a place for us. I will call you, Sheikh. I will speak with you. Okay. I will call you. They reserve a place. So once you get to the Haram, just in front of the Haram, just like here and there, you just park your car. Once you will walk from your car to the Haram, just a distance of maybe twice the size of that open space. Doctor, if you get down from your car and you remove your shoe, hey, wallahi, it will be like you are walking on fire. Wallahi lazim. You will have to, and even when you get it, you have to raise up your leg and start rubbing your, yes. I've never, I mean, from my own background, I mean, coming from Nigeria to that place and seeing that the earth can be this hot. It's like that. So if you look at all this, and when you are traveling from Jeddah, you are going to Riyadh, you won't see any source of water anywhere. Like maybe there's a small river, there's this, no way. So water is very important there. So imagine the Bani Israel and Musa traveling, running away from Pharaoh, and they got a place they were actually dying. They needed water, and they were all shouting, "Water, water!" And of course, the moment it happens like that, they will rebel even against their leader, the prophet. You are the one who brought us here to come and suffer here. No, now we are dying. We want to drink water. There's no water. Blah 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 blah. So there was a lot of agitation. And Musa had to pray to Almighty Allah.
وإذ استسقى موسى لقومه فقلنا اضرب بعصاك الحجر.
It was when this agitation was so much also, and Musa also had to call on Almighty Allah. And that my people are dying of thirst. Oh Allah, we need water. And Almighty Allah sent a revelation to him and he said,
وإذ استسقى موسى لقومه فقلنا اضرب بعصاك الحجر.
Almighty Allah says at that point in time, when Musa now asked Almighty Allah to please, that we need water badly, we now ask him,
اضرب بعصاك الحجر.
The same walking stick as you are using, go to that stone, Hajar, go to that stone and strike the stone.
فانفجرت منه 12 عينا.
As Musa struck, it's a mighty stone. As Musa struck it like this, 12 springs, source of waters opened up in that stone. And water was gushing out from each of the spring, from each of the 12 spring. And that 12 spring was to serve each of the tribes that are following Sayyidina Musa.
Allah.
So Almighty Allah used that spring was of great benefits to Musa. These are some of the signs that Almighty Allah gave Musa. We will pause here today. Inshallah, we'll continue tomorrow.